The Daytona 500 almost had its first 200-mile-per-hour pole sitter in 1983, but Cale Yarborough crashed on his second qualifying lap, so both his primary car and his 200.503-mile-an-hour run were wiped out. Ricky Rudd and Geoff Bodine were in the front row as Vice President George Bush waved the green flag.
They are away. Going into turn number one, that front row is Ricky Rudd and Geoff Bodine, and they are side by side as they go in. Let's go back to Cale Yarborough's car as he tries to move through. He's getting underneath Bill Elliott as he fights his way up one spot. That is Tim Richmond getting by Bill Elliott as he picks up one spot. Going down the back straightaway, moves in. Going underneath David Pearson in car number 16. Back with the leaders.
There were 7 lead changes in the first 10 laps, a pattern that would continue throughout the race. Nobody seemed to have a clear advantage. Rudd, Bodine, Richard Petty, and Dale Earnhardt were joined by Kyle Petty, and a little father-son racing broke out.
Here's Petty coming back. Petty on the hunt into turn 3, and Kyle Petty right with it. Father and son going into turn number 3, nearly 200 miles an hour. They're averaging out here for those first 10 laps over 191 miles an hour. And of course, they came up from a very slow start, going only about 90 to 100, and they came to the line. Here's Kyle trading sheep down a little with Richard Brooks on the outside as they go to the tri-oval.
Kyle and Richard Brooks there really close together through this tri-oval. I bet there wasn't an inch and a half between them.
Bosco Lowe, in the only Daytona appearance of his career, made a spectacular exit from the race.
Oh, cracks in the pits. Car number 32 spins in the pits and knocks down. I don't think it knocked anybody down, but that was very lucky.
That was Bosco Lowe having trouble as he entered the pit road. He is a rookie driver.
Richard Petty was running well. He had pulled away from Kyle and into another battle for the lead, this time with Richard Brooks. The King hadn't won in his last 41 races, but he had broken a 45-race winless streak with his 1979 win here at Daytona. He set a record pace of 193.133 miles per hour for 40 laps, but the number 43 Pontiac couldn't take the pace. The King's bid for a record 8th Daytona 500 win would go up in smoke again. Brooks led after that, but Phil Parsons spun out and finally slowed the breakneck pace.
Spinning, sliding, Phil Parsons is out of control, and let's see if he's going to bring out the first caution of the day.
After the restart, Bill Elliott, Joe Ruttman, and Dale Earnhardt each led briefly. Brooks had taken over again until Cale Yarborough blew right by him.
And there you see a classic drafting slingshot. Comes up on Dick Brooks as they come off the banking, pulls alongside him, and as momentum carries him past. And here's Cale Yarborough in the camera car leading the Daytona 500.
Earnhardt's day ended moments later, and the caution and race to the line that resulted had serious consequences.
Float engine on Earnhardt. Earnhardt expires right at the tri-oval. Big cloud of smoke. He's up against the wall, trying to roll it. The yellow is out. Caution is on the track, second time. Oh, talk about a moment. The fourth place car, Dale Earnhardt in the Budmore Ford. Remember that Budmore won this race with Bobby Allison. Looked like they were going to bundle the field up. All the action is right up among those leaders. Busting down the back straightaway, they're coming around. They have to race back to the line. And Richard Brooks wants to be out in front as he comes to the stripe.
But only some people seem to be racing.
Here's Richard Brooks coming down the line. And here's one car trying to get in front of him.
Oh, that's Darrell Waltrip.
Waltrip out of control. He slams the wall.
He's going to get
crushed. Almost nails Yarborough.
When Mark Martin hit the wall, there was another scramble for position. Neil Bonnet hoped to get back on the lead lap, but Joe Ruttman had other ideas.
Look at Bonnet go up to the outside. He's trapped. He's trying to find a hole. He's trying to get that lap back. He pushes Ruttman. Ruttman won't let him through. Ruttman will keep him a lot down.
Neil Bonnet had led at the halfway point, but a 4-tire pit stop had knocked him out of the lead lap. Then J.D. McDuffie's engine blew, and suddenly Neil Bonnet was back in business.
Neil Bonnet's got his lap back.
Yes, sir. Bonnet down to the inside. 3 wide. Battle for third place. Give it to Bonnet. 154 laps are complete.
Neil Bonnet seems to have the strongest engine out there, or it appears so, because look at that gap, those front two being pulled out on the rest of the field, and Neil pulled his way up to those front two all on his own.
But smoke signaled the end of Neil Bonnet's bid. The black flag came out and Bonnet came in. The lead pack was down to 4. Ruttman, Baker, and Yarborough, with Elliott close behind. Yarborough had won twice before, and he expected a tight finish.
There's 4 or 5 cars that's running real strong here now. I think it's just going to be the man that gets the break here at the end.
What about Baker? That Ford's been really tough.
Baker's running strong. That 98 car's running good. The 9 car and the 90 car are all running real strong, so it's going to be tough.
It was a tight race all day. In all, there would be 59 lead changes among 11 drivers. With 11 laps to go, Buddy Baker took the lead. The others stayed back in the draft. This race would go down to the last minute.
Cale Yarborough peeks inside as they lap by James Hilton, just to have a look at it, get a little clean air into the grill of that Le Mans. They are still single file. Last lap as they go to turn 1.
And right now, Buddy Baker trying to hold off Cale Yarborough. Joe Ruttman is right there in third place. Bill Elliott seems to be dropping off the pace. He might be too far down to make a move off turn 2. Baker has the lead.
Baker moved inside coming off 2, then goes back up on the high side. Here's Yarborough to the inside. Last trip around. Yarborough and Ruttman hook up. Yarborough sweeps in front. Ruttman goes low. Ruttman does not have it.
Buddy Baker drops back to third spot. Yarborough had the move when it counted. Now Ruttman will try to climb the outside. Baker will try to come back. Yarborough will lead him off 4. Baker comes inside on Ruttman.
Baker comes down to the inside, trying to find somebody to draft with. They are 3 wide back there for the second spot. As they come to the stripe, it will be Cale Yarborough, the winner. Bill Elliott will finish second, and the third place is going to be close. I can't even call that one.
It'll be Buddy Baker for third as Baker and Ruttman coming down through the tri-oval. Those cars traded paint and sheet metal.
Cale Yarborough competed in 563 races in his NASCAR career, but the 25th annual Daytona 500 was one of only 4 times he drove a Pontiac. It was the first win for Pontiac since Fireball Roberts in 1962. Not bad for a backup car.